Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence and welcome back to TV7 Live. We see Vice President Constantino Chiwenga emerging in weather after a very long time out of public sight. What was he doing in weather? So, Vice President Constantino Chiwenga was in weather attending the burial of Thomas Chingwaru, a great farmer in weather at his Hash farm. That is yesterday when President Emerson Mnangagwa was hosting Sengezo Chabangu and other Triple C legislators at his pre-Cape farm. So, the big question that has been going around was VP Chiwenga present at the pre-Cape farm. It seems like Vice President Constantino Chiwenga was not present at the pre-Cape farm, but was rather in weather for the burial of Thomas Chingwaru, a farmer in weather there. So here we see him on the screen. He is with Weather North MP Honorable Itai Nduzo is there attending this burial here as shown on the screen there. So that is what was happening there while Zimbabwe President Emerson Mnangagwa was at pre-Cape farm hosting the Triple C guys. Now what has just happened? What has just happened in Mozambique? Is it now game over for the people of Mozambique and for the democracy fighter Venancio Mondlane? Venancio Mondlane, is it now game over in the nation of Mozambique? The question is, what happens next in the nation of Mozambique as we are seeing this now happening?
Members of Parliament in Mozambique comes as the neighboring country is reeling following weeks of violent protests due to the disputed election outcome. Opposition parties Renamo and MDM boycotted the session, saying they can't legitimize stolen polls. But Podemos, which backs opposition leader Venancio Mondlane, attended.
The Podemos, which backs opposition leader Venancio Mondlane, attended.
South Africa is keeping a close eye on the situation in Maputo.
We are deeply concerned about the ongoing conflicts in the Sudan and the Eastern DRC, as well as the post-election violence in Mozambique. We call on the OAU and SADC to take urgent steps in working towards the resolution of all these conflicts.
Ex-Daniel Chapo Frelimo is set to officially take over from outgoing President Filipe Nyusi on Wednesday. Over 2,000 people are expected to attend the ceremony at Maputo Independence Square. Some leaders are yet to confirm if they will be present.
Mozambicans, before I express my gratitude for the trust that the Mozambican people have placed in me, allow me on my own behalf and on behalf of my family.
Now that is Chapo, the president-elect in the nation of Mozambique. Now he is speaking at the swearing in of members of parliament there. Now we are seeing the Podemos who are backing Venancio Mondlane attend this. Is this now game over for Venancio Mondlane?
To express my deepest sympathy to the families who lost their loved ones during this period of violent protests.
Meanwhile, Mondlane still insists he won the polls, but Frelimo has denied it stole the election.
I swear on my honor to serve the Mozambican homeland and its people. I swear on my honor to respect the Constitution and the laws, to use all my energies, physical, psychological, intellectual, and even emotional for the benefit of this land, so that in 5 years or 10 years, it becomes one of the greatest nations in the world.
Now picture this. The capital city is deserted as a ghost town after a zombie apocalypse. Why? Because opposition leader Venancio Mondlane called for a national strike to protest the highly disputed election results. That's right. When the results are so controversial that even the streets are in on the action, you know it's time for a political showdown. The boycott bonanza. On Monday, two smaller opposition parties decided to skip the opening ceremony like it was a bad date. They refused to accept the outcome of the October elections, while incoming President Daniel Chapo stood there calling for calm and unity like a cat trying to herd mice. Meanwhile, military police surrounded the parliament like they were guarding crown jewels. Talk about an overkill, a deserted drama. The city center, usually bustling with life, was quieter than a library during finals week. Shops were closed and protesters were manning barricades like it was Black Friday at Walmart. According to Al Jazeera, people are trying to block roads with burning tires and stones because nothing says peaceful protests like a flaming tire. Mondlane, who has got the youth of Mozambique rallying behind him like he's their favorite superhero, claimed the election results were rigged in favor of Chapo's Frelimo party, who has been in power longer than most of us have been alive. He has urged his followers to demonstrate our refusal with a national strike. I mean, if that doesn't sound like an invitation to chaos, I don't know what does. The numbers game. Official results gave Chapo 65% of the presidential vote compared to Mondlane's alleged 53%. So, what do we have here? A classic case of he said, she said, but with more drama than soap opera. Mondlane even returned from hiding abroad after his lawyer was killed. Talk about a plot twist worth of Hollywood. The aftermath, a comedy of errors. As Parliament opened with Frelimo and Podemos taking their seats like they just won the lottery, Renamo and MDM stayed away in protest. The Renamo spokesman declared this opening a social outrage, which is rich coming from a party that has been playing politics longer than most people have been playing Monopoly. And while Chapo calls for unity, Mondlane is ready to throw down, saying, if you want to negotiate, here is here in the flesh. Sounds like he's ready for a political wrestling match. So there you have it. A political spectacle unfolding in Mozambique. The question is, what happens next? Is this now game over for Venancio Mondlane? Or maybe something is about to happen? Big up to everybody who's watching us live right about now. To those watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see your names, so I can give you my shout out. Now we are seeing more scenes emerging there from the pre-cap farm. Yes, sir. Here we see Super Sengezo Chabangu, the man of political acrobatics, showing there on a scene. We see him with the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Mudenda, in a political parade of pandemonium. Okay, we're seeing them together at the pre-cap farm. Yes, sir. I'm just wondering what slogan they were using at the pre-cap farm there. You can see the whole tent is full. And that is the high table there. Do we see Sengezo Chabangu at the high table? No, they don't put him at the high table there. Anyways, we would see him make a speech there, and also President E.D. What does Sengezo Chabangu there say?
Presented a culture of unity. Hallelujah. You have presented a different platform.
It seems he is there at the high table. Yes. So maybe he wasn't there at the high table. Let me just rewind it to just verify. The initial high table. Okay, I think the empty seat would be the one which Sengezo Chabangu would later on take. Then we see him here making a speech.
Zimbabweans to engage each other. You have presented the people of Zimbabwe to choose what is good, what is right, what is wrong. Yes. You have presented this opportunity for Zimbabwe to speak not against each other, but to speak to each other. Your Excellency, you have presented an opportunity for us to ride on your vision. You have presented an opportunity for us to grow as a nation. You have presented...
Big up to Temba Sibanda.
To live as a nation. You have presented an opportunity to build this nation. You have presented an opportunity to live beyond your vision. Your Excellency.
So these guys think they can remain in parliament beyond their term because of these poems they are making.
In the next coming years, this Zimbabwe needs to...
That is not democracy. If two opposition political parties agree, it doesn't mean it's democracy. The people have to vote. Anyways, let's hear what the president here has to say here.
I'm happy in Zimbabwe. Kuna friction between the ruling party and the opposition party. From what I hear as a president, we work together. But it is very important that we must have an opposition which must check on the ruling party. Yes. So members of the opposition, make sure you deal with the ruling party.
It seems that the opposition party is now the number one supporter of the ruling party.
Make them busy. Amen.
Okay, so we see ED there was in good spirits. Okay, how can he not be in good spirits when he sees that we can all see that the opposition has become the biggest supporters of the ruling party? This is what is those toripo. We are saying it as is. All right, there is this story that I have to cover. There's this story that I have to cover. All right, we see this story of this lady called Lillian Rusike. This lady took her own, this lady called Lillian Rusike, aged 22, took her own life. I have to make this broadcast and I have to speak on this. What had happened there? Before we go into the details of what happened that saw this young lady take her own life, pane a saying yechinyakare yatinogara tichiudzwa yekunzi nyadzi dzinokunda rufu. That is a lie. Nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. No matter what you may be going through, no matter what happens to you, always remember this: kuti nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. It takes not so deep thinking, but a little thinking to realize kuti nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. This young lady, aged 22, she would take her own life. She committed suicide on Wednesday after finding out that her boyfriend was a married man. She was a student at Great Zimbabwe University. Now imagine, that's a small story. Kunzi kudanana nemurume wemunhu haisi nyaya. Kune nyaya hombe dzinopfuura nyaya idzi. Hakuna nyaya yekuti munhu angatore life yake. There's no story, no controversy that is so big that one might take their own life. So we see her friend Michelle Gumbo told H Metro that she was on attachment at Masvingo Rural District Council. Lillian was a Roman Catholic Church St. Teresa Rojeko member, a student of the Great Zimbabwe University on attachment at Masvingo Rural District Council. She was a very religious person. Okay. Now, after taking your life, following whatever nyaya inonyadzisa, who then do you please? Watiza ani uchenda kunani? Fellow Zimbabweans, always remember this. No matter what you go through, no matter what controversies may happen to you, musazonyeperwe. Nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. Now we are seeing her making headlines here in H Metro. This is very, very sad. Whatever you are going through, kana zvatoitika, right? You are there now. Kana zvaitika, it means it's past. Just put that in your brain, it's past, it's gone. Big up to Aileen Mugara, enough respect there, right? Nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. And unenge uchimbonyara ani? Ukunyara mabuli. Ukunyara ani? Kana uine munhu uri kunyara anybody who makes you feel bad, then that person is the bad person, not you, and it's not your problem. It's none of your business when people are concerned about your affairs, and it's none of their business. Nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. Yes, apa dzakakunda. That is if Aileen Maungara. It is because of that wrong saying that people tell each other nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. Nyadzi dzinokunda rufu. Nyadzi hadzikunde rufu. That is the truth, not vice versa that we have been told. The vice versa that we have been told, ivhangeri raSatani rekuti vanhu vagare vaine izvozvo mupfungwa mavo zvekufunga kuti nyadzi dzinokunda rufu, ende hakuna chinhu chinombonyadzisa. The only thing chinonyadzisa pasi panapa kusanyara kana kuda kunyadzisa vamwe vanhu. Ndo zvinhu tu zvinonyadzisa. Kusanyara ndo chinhu chinonyadzisa kana kuda kunyadzisa mumwe munhu is the other thing. That is the other thing chinonyadzisa. Kwete zvimwe zvese izvi. Pick up to Saini Muteke says maybe the girl was demon possessed. Yes, what is a demon? A demon is an idea. A demon is an idea. So yes, that would make sense also to say that possessed by an idea. Anyways, before I sign out, I'm just going to go over some of the headlines in the news day today. What is the news day today saying? All right. We see government shuns crucial teachers' talks. That is the cover page of today's news day. A few days ago, we saw teachers saying they are not yet ready to return to work. Okay. Then we see Tanzania activist released after being kidnapped in Kenya's capital. 500,000 rand worth of goods seized along Limpopo River. We see the impact where our passports are very expensive. People would opt to jump the border, and in doing so, government haiwani matax ainga ichawana ipapa vanachipatira majuti because our passports are so expensive. Gold panels obstructing water inflows to Madzingwe Dam. Shurugi man jailed for kidnapping toddler. A 21-year-old Shurugi man last week slept with an effective 4-year jail term for kidnapping and assaulting a 3-year-old girl. Now that's very disturbing. Economy heads for a bloodbath. That is Tendai Biti. What is he talking about here? Okay, we see this one is not... all right, we see it in full here. Economy heads for a blood bath. What is Tendai Biti talking about here? Former Finance Minister Tendai Biti has warned of a bloodbath in the absence of a liberalized the exchange rate at an injection of liquidity into the economy. His warnings come on the back of a persistent liquidity crunch, exchange rate volatility, and a wave of business closures and corporate rescues. Okay, yes, I'm seeing some language which I do not understand. I think I'll have to sign out here. Enough respect to everybody who was watching us live. Some of the languages that are spoken by Mr. Biti, you need to do some research, some warm up before you start reading. Anyways, enough respect to everybody who was watching us live right about now. Big up to Temba Sibanda, Ellen Maugara, Saini Mateke, everybody who was watching us live right about now. Thank you guys for watching TV7 Live. It's you who makes TV7 Live great. Dr. Clarence, TV7 Live. As always, thank you for watching. I'm out.